Welcome to the Bible Forum. I'm Warren Sprouse. We're here every Sunday night from 8 until 10 p.m. Eastern Time live. Of course, you can catch it other places. You can go to our website. You can go to the YouTube channel, and you can go to our Facebook page. And they're all there, and you can watch to your heart's content. We've got a gentleman at Yale University, a professor by the name of David Gellertner. He's apparently a prominent writer as well as a Yale University professor. And he believes it's high time for people to drop Charles Darwin's outdated theory of evolution. Now, Gellertner explained that he has disassociated himself from the theory. He has received the requisite backlash for doing so. So what are the details here? Well, in a recent essay published in the Claremont Review of Books, Gellertner wrote, quote, "Darwin has failed." And he insists that scientists move past Darwin and his theories altogether. Gellertner, who has been a proponent of Darwinism since childhood, argued that the long-standing theory of evolution simply did not give a thorough enough explanation of perhaps the most important component of modern science, the actual origin of the species. You see, that has always been the sticky issue in all of this. According to the essay, which is entitled "Giving Up Darwin," he writes that the Cambrian explosion, as well as modern discoveries in molecular biology, have simply dashed Darwin's theories of evolution as he understood it to occur. Now, the Cambrian explosion describes the entry of most species, that they enter the evolutionary order fully formed and then depart unchanged, Gellertner wrote. Explosion of life. The incremental development of new species is not there. He also adds that he feels it's important not to discount the theory of intelligent design, which is an equally important concept as Darwinianism has been to science. Darwin's theory predicts that new life forms evolve gradually from old life forms in a constantly branching, spreading tree of life. He wrote, not me. These brave new Cambrian creatures, therefore, must have had a pre-Cambrian predecessor similar but not quite as fancy and sophisticated. They could not have all blown out suddenly like a bunch of geysers. He pointed out that the concept of intelligent design is not necessarily his favorite theory, but insists that it is an absolutely serious argument, indicating that this theory is the very first and obviously most intuitive that comes to mind. What else? Well, in June, Gellertner said that Darwinian scientists will absolutely destroy those people who dare try to diminish its importance to science. He said, "I have to distinguish between the way I've been treated personally, which has been a very courteous and collegial way by my colleagues at Yale. They're nice guys, and I like them. They're my friends. On the other hand," he says, "when I look at their intellectual behavior, what they publish, and much more importantly, what they tell their students, Darwinism has indeed passed beyond a scientific argument. As far as they're concerned, you take your life in your hands to challenge it intellectually. They will destroy you if you do." He says, "I haven't seen anything approaching free speech on this topic in my lifetime." It's a bitter rejection that he's suffering now, not just a sort of bitter, fundamental, angry, outright, violent rejection, which comes nowhere near scientific or intellectual discussion. He says, "I've seen that happen again and again. Their position is, I'm a Darwinist. Don't you say a word against it, or I don't want to hear it, period. He knows that he's attacking their religion. And he says it's a big issue for them. This is the kind of thing that's being taught to our children, has been taught to our children for the last 100 years. When I was in school, we heard it, and we were confused by it. We heard it, but we didn't accept it. My children came along, and had they stayed in the public system, they would have heard it, and it would have been presented in such a way that they dared not disagree with it. And now children go to school, and it is the same as 2 plus 2, and don't you dare say anything against it, or you have a serious problem. That's the only evolution that Darwinism has ever experienced.